I don't even remember the beauty world before Fenty Beauty. It seems like overnight, Rihanna has set a new tone, no pun intended, for diversity in the beauty industry, a feat that seemed nearly impossible for other brands to get right. It's no surprise that Fenty Beauty was named one of the most important inventions of 2017 by Time magazine for its ratio of affordability and quality, not to mention its inclusivity instead of exclusivity. Today, we'll get into why it even took the beauty industry so long to catch on. We'll play a game of Your Favorite's Problematic, and as always, we'll be reading your comments and questions. This is Teen Vogue Take. I'm Tiffany Bender.
I'm Phil Picardi.
I'm Wembley Sewell.
I'm Sammy Scott.
And today we have a very special guest with us, lifestyle and beauty blogger Eugenie Gray.
Thanks so much for having me again.
Yes. Tell us about your undying love for Fenty Beauty.
I think they're one of a kind. You know, all my friends are so stoked that there's finally a brand that represents them truly. Not only does it cater to people with albinism, it goes all the way to deep shades, and it's so important in this world today. And by the end of 1 year, it's going to make $100 million in revenue.
Yes, Rihanna, get your coins. And the frenzy, it truly shows no signs of dying down. Just last week, she launched a beauty moisturizer glitter situation, which I cannot wait to get. Phil, if you get it in your office, I'm stealing it.
It's all yours. I'm actually not on Rihanna's mailing list, so.
But you were, in fact, a beauty editor before, so
Yes.
Why do you think this is such an important change?
I mean, listen, I think that the beauty industry, like any other major industry, has a lot of catching up to do with modern times. With like the advent of social media, the YouTube phenomenon of vloggers talking about their concerns and problems with beauty brands have never been held accountable like that before. Certainly not by the magazines who they were taking advertisements out in, you know?
Right.
And so I find it really interesting that finally, you know, Rihanna's been able to do this in a way that feels very direct to consumer. We know with like Kylie and Kylie Jenner Cosmetics and Kim Kardashian Cosmetics that they are able to talk directly to a consumer, make a product, cut out the middleman, they don't have to take out advertising, and then can just sell their product. And so because beauty corporations for so long have had this really false narrative that deeper toned women or darker skinned women aren't buying foundations, you know, all of a sudden they're realizing, oh, wait a minute, these consumers just weren't buying our foundations because maybe we weren't featuring them in our advertisements, or maybe we weren't talking to them at the counter in the proper way. And so Rihanna's been able to debunk, with one launch, Rihanna's been able to debunk a lot of myths that beauty companies formerly thought were true and used as market value, and has shown them a clear path forward. Now the question is, how are they going to catch up to her?
Wembley, you and Sammy are both our resident Rihanna stans.
Yes.
Do we think that it's just because it's Rihanna, or is the product really something that people are chasing after?
I feel two ways about it. Obviously, there are other brands who are doing really well. You could say like NARS. I've been a fan of them forever. But I think like not only is it Rihanna, but it's also like the makeup itself is good. I'm wearing the matte lipstick right now in Shoddy. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I think it's a combination of like her brand, and then the actual like makeup that works that makes it all come together.
I think there's without a doubt that it's bigger than Rihanna. And I don't mean like Beyonce. I think it's literally that, yes, she's this huge, powerful figure and so many people love and respect her, but I think people also have such a huge cultural affinity for the product that she's making. Also her shoes.
Do you guys also think it has something to do with the fact that it's sold at Sephora? Because I also know MAC has a really wide foundation shade range. It's been a part of their platform forever because it's an artistry professional brand. But I did find, like reading comments, that a lot of folks felt like at Sephora they could find darker skin tones in foundations, but that they weren't necessarily good. And that all of a sudden Fenty shows up and now they have an option, which I thought was interesting. Is that valid?
There are a lot of foundations that aren't good. And I think Rihanna's brand has enough undertones and enough shades that they can act like, even if you're not that good at shade matching, you can figure it out, or you can just figure it out yourself.
So Grazia magazine said that when they asked these very same questions to the retailers, they were met with, quote, offensive and ridiculous answers, and that there's not enough shelf space to cater to all of this. So instead, their priority has been given to a sea of beige. What a drag.
50 Shades of Beige.
Right. So I think that there is this complex relationship between both the brand and its quality, the retailer, and then the consumer. So the shelf space, they claim, it just isn't there. But as a YouTuber and a blogger, you have a built-in audience that you can talk directly to with some authenticity. So how have you been able to do that with some of your favorite brands?
So as a blogger, we get press gifts of, you know, every shade of foundation, every eyeshadow color, everything. And so we can try things out. And I've been able to give really raw, honest feedback to people. Like a person that I really look up to is Jackie Aina. She's a beauty YouTuber. She's a woman of color, and she has so much power in the beauty space. She has done reviews to tell her followers, this is what's up.
Right.
Yeah. And she's so honest.
I appreciate the honesty of bloggers like yourself and Jackie, and I think there's something to be said specifically to the spending power of Black women. It is noted that $7.5 billion annually is spent on beauty products by Black women, and they shell out 80% more on cosmetics and skincare than their non-Black counterparts. And so it's very encouraging to hear that they're listening directly and saying, we hear you and we want to make some changes. Do we think that these efforts are genuine?
I don't think it's 100% genuine, but I do think it's a start.
Yeah.
I don't think that people should have to settle, but it's just nice that
there are efforts being made. Yeah. I mean, it's not even just Black women. There are people with skin disorders like vitiligo. There are people living with albinism, to your point. So I just, for the life of me, couldn't understand before Fenty Beauty why someone wouldn't want to give people exactly what they need, not even what they want. These are things that these women and men who wear makeup need.
It is one of those things too where I think the consumer can tell what's authentic versus what's not. And it's very transparent that Rihanna's mission is, I wanted to create makeup for the girls who weren't represented at the girls, boys, non-binary people who weren't represented at the counter, and this is my mantle, and this is what my advertising is going to represent, and this is what I'm going to represent. And so that's why she's so successful. So everyone can continue to play catch up with her, but unless they are employing those people to make those decisions at their company, casting those people in their advertisements, they still have a long way to go before they're able to figure out, exactly how to do that in an authentic way. And it needs to come from the heart. So I think that, a lot of these other brands have a lot of catch up to do because there's so many layers of capitalism, whether that's marketing or advertising, that they still have to really figure out how to make it come from a genuine place. And that's why Rihanna is going to continue to outpace them.
So before we get out of here, we got to play your favorites problematic. And I have one that is going to be so good. Miss Christina Aguilera, come to the front. She's here. Of the office. She's here.
You guys, how dare you invite a homosexual onto your show and slander Christina Aguilera?
You don't even know why.
Things.
You don't even know why I'm calling her problematic.
Okay. It better be real good. I want a thesis.
So I just feel like she's doing that pop star thing where she's like, I'm going to strip away of this. I'm going to give you my natural beauty. I'm going to give you a really soulful down home album, which hopefully won't flop. And then she'll return to her outlandish looks.
Serve you farm realness.
And I mean, if you disagree, please say.
I disagree.
We have just seen this
so
so many times.
Right.
Miley, Lady Gaga. I think she did it the best of everyone.
This is Madonna old school. This is divas reinvent their looks for their albums.
But the strip it all, it's just been done before. Beautiful, gorgeous, stunning. It always is amazing.
She needed it, you guys.
Guys, let us know in the comments how you feel about the Paper Magazine issue with Christina Aguilera and this bare down look.
You better be nice to Christina.
Let us know how you feel about the beauty industry and if it's shifting. Be sure to watch us next week.
This is so rude.
Phil probably won't be here.
We'll be gone.
I'm not coming back. I'm quitting.
Before you go, please be sure to hashtag Teen Vogue Take, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you next week.
You're beautiful in every single way. Christina Aguilera said that. God.